My first solo was at the age of 5. Just mental health in general in the Caribbean is kind of slept on. Yo, do you even know what you're saying? You. My dad was just crying like a little baby.
Wha Gwaan Munchy.
Miss Munchy, what would tell him?
I hear me, Miss Munchy. People lock with Munchy.
Miss Munch! Are you run the thing, so watch out now?
You know me, I say Munchy.
Yell up Munchy.
Wha Gwaan Munchy?
Reggaeville family, this is Wha Gwaan Munchy coming to you with the, I want to say, fascinating, talented, and I want to say super cool Kaylan Arnold, singer-songwriter from the US. How are you doing, Kaylan?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming to the playground with me. I mentioned already, you're a singer-songwriter. You're from the US, but you have roots. Your mom's from Haiti and your dad's from Belize. So how were those musical roots reflected in your upbringing?
I would say for the most part, my dad played a lot of records, mainly a lot of Bob Marley, Beres Hammond, Buju Banton, a lot of old school dancehall. And then my mom played a lot of like Hispanic music, so like Mark Anthony, Celia Cruz and stuff too. It kind of just blended together. Yeah.
I heard you once say you've been singing since you were in Pampers. So how was that toddler career of yours like?
It was nice. My first solo was at the age of 5. I did a kindergarten recital for Christmas at my school. And I would say that was a lot of fun. I was like one of the only black kids as well, so it was extra extraordinary, I guess. And I think that was the first time that my parents came to see me sing, and my dad was just crying like a little baby. But they had no idea. They called my parents, and they were like, "What? My daughter doesn't sing. She's shy." And then I kind of proved them wrong, I guess.
So were you actually that shy?
I was extremely shy as a kid. And like also when I used to sing, I used to just get on stage and just cry and get off stage. I don't know why. Maybe anxiety or something, but glad that's over.
Yeah. But you still just wanted to sing even at that young age.
Yes,
so that had you overcome even that like stage fear or that being more of an introvert?
Yeah, actually I think just singing in general definitely helped me with like my social skills and just talking to people and being able to hold a conversation and read the room and be empathetic and just feel energy in general. So yeah.
You have the roots that we mentioned, the different backgrounds that you combine in your life. When you were a kid, who was your favorite artist or your biggest inspiration?
When I was a kid, I would say it was a lot of, I think just like Alicia Keys, Michael Jackson, just like the stuff that I was raised around. But then when I actually found what I liked and what I wanted to aspire to be, it was definitely Amy Winehouse, hands down, all day. Even to this day, I think like 100 artists could come and go, and I'll still just always look up to her songwriting and her authenticity and the fact that she played an instrument and just kept it real all the time. So,
so she's your now inspiration?
Mm-hmm. Yes, till the end of time, I think, hopefully.
A lot of inspirational artists have blessed us throughout this festival summer on many stages. Reggaeville was on location. We did a lot of covering, be that pictures, reports, videos. Of course, you can check them on all the various channels and relive the moments of this summer. Of course, also with bands like Steel Pulse, who played at Rototom in Spain. talk about your toddler time and the pampers thing and stuff. After high school, you went to college and you did music industry
Yes.
business
Wow,
major.
yes.
All right, all right.
That's crazy.
When did you realize that music was not just a hobby or a thing, and that you really wanted to approach that in a professional way?
I would say if I could be transparent, just signing some pretty bad deals early on, just in general. Just having to like learn the hard way how to navigate, just realizing that I'm a woman also, and just being independent for a while kind of taught me the ropes as far as like how important it was to know what you're signing and to read what you're signing before you sign it. And then I also just looked around at a lot of my friends that were like having placements on the same songs as me as producers or writers, and I was like, dude, like, did you see your splits? Or like, they're like, splits? Like, what do you, I'm like, do you have an ASCAP? Like, do you have a PRO? Do you know how to take care of yourself and advocate for yourself? You know what I mean? So I think just like that being at the forefront has catapulted me into spaces that I feel like a lot of artists kind of, I guess, struggle to get in, just in general. So just grateful to do some reading and to learn the hard way.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so let's go back though, because you said you signed some pretty bad deals.
Yeah.
So that means that even before you did the major, you already had signed some deals and stuff. At what point did become music a professional thing for you then?
I think I was 17 when I signed my first deal. I put my first record out, I think at 18 or something. So yeah, I would say that's when it started. I started writing and stuff at 12, 13, just like little acoustic songs. They weren't very good, if I could be honest, but they've definitely grown a lot. So I would say 17 is where I actually was like, okay, I could do something with this, you know?
Hearing you talk like that, are you very self-critical?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and as a lot of artists say, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my sugar honey iced tea. So basically, I think it is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because obviously it makes you pay attention to really, really small details about things that people wouldn't notice in songs. But then I feel like sometimes just like showing up as myself and just singing and making it exist before I make it good is really important as well. So that's where I feel like it could be a little bit treacherous, as being too over analytical, and then it ties into being super over analytical of other artists and producers in the room as well. So I think just maintaining a sense of like calmness in general when creating has helped that balance kind of come into place.
I watched your set and I was super impressed by the works that you do, and what I enjoyed also in particular was that you added There For You by Damian Marley in the set. So at what point in your musical career did Jamaican music in particular enter your life?
Well, I feel like growing up to it, listening to it was the main thing, and when I really fell in love with it, I would say around 17 when I signed my first deal. I was around a lot of reggae heads, and just I realized how important it was to not just sing the genre, but to know the people that created the forefront for the genre. So just like I listened to Amy Winehouse about the jazz and about the popular music, I had to know like what exactly else was happening. Also just being naturally touched by like Bob Marley's music and all of his offspring's music, I feel like it's just a thing that everyone can relate to as well. So I just had to like big them up. And I think like all the time, that's primarily the reason why I cover other songs, is to make sure that people know like I'm always listening and I'm always like maintaining a balance in that way.
And why did you pick There For You in particular? Because when I heard the song back, and I haven't heard a song in a long while, and I was like, wow, these lyrics are so good. And you made me realize that because you incorporated it in your set.
I think that, like you said, the lyrics and just listening to it. I feel like I was singing it a lot when I was younger, and I was like, you, because it was fun to sing. But then when I got older and I understood what it meant for someone to say vexation of spirit is a waste of time, like physical conflict is a waste of flesh, verbal, like I really didn't understand what I was listening to until I had the capacity and the intellect to like know what was happening. So that's when I feel like it created a difference in my life. And I'm like, oh, the songs that I was listening to when I was younger have an entirely new meaning now that I'm 26 now, and kind of like knowing how important it is to like really have substance in when you're making music, you know? Yeah.
Sometimes you grow and then you look at music that you used to listen to differently after years and years, you know. But of course you have amazing music yourself, and as far as I'm concerned, you have a new album in the making or ready to drop, or is it, and it's called Miscommunication. Is that correct? All right. So tell me all about it.
So right now the album is done. We're just in the process of, I think, maybe taking songs out of it because we were like, oh my gosh, we need so many bangers. Now we have too many bangers. But I'm excited because I have a lot of dope features. I have a Conscience feature, Mystic Marley, Tessellated, who's super dope, Mr. Vegas, Tanya Stevens. So just, I guess, just waiting on the proper time for that and just making sure that it has, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess just the proper support that it needs and that it's not just out, because I feel like I put my last 2 projects out and they did well, but I did it independent, so now I kind of want to explore what it would be like to have an entire machine behind me, you know?
You mentioned the features. These are all Jamaican artists. How did these features come about, or why did you work with these people in particular? Is there someone you want to mention that it was super special to work with?
I would say in general, I always looked up to the artists that are featured. I was looking for people that were super seasoned to be on the project. And I think that they had been following me some of them had been following me for a while, like probably a little under a decade now. And I just knew that at a matter of time, I would have a song that would just make sense. Because of course, when I'm just getting started, I'm like, oh, I want to work with this person and this person. And then the songs are just like, they weren't bad. It's just like, I obviously knew that I needed to develop more as an artist. Okay. So I think that was, like I said, just a matter of time. And then I think in particular, someone that I always wanted to work with was Tanya. Just listening to Tanya Stevens as a kid was always super inspirational. Yes. And then I remember I was in the backseat singing "It's a Pity" word for word. I woulda liked one of these mornings. My parents turned around like, "Yo, do you even know what you're saying?" And I didn't at the time. So now that I know how important it was, and also just how important it was to be a female as part of the foundation of dancehall and reggae music is super, super important to me as well. Because I think there are a lot of, some of my favorite modern artists like Lila, IK, Savannah, it's really important that these girls stepped into the mix as well, just to kind of show them what's up, hold them, as I say.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of Lila Ike, she just dropped the album, which is called Treasure Self Love. That is out now, and so is Mr. Vegas's Ghetto Reggae. And of course, Keznamdi also has a wicked new album, which is called Blood and Fyah, and also includes this combination of Keznamdi, Marlon Asher, and Gulligat Mavado.
Me used to burn it, now me steam it, I'ma crush it, I'ma clean it, I'ma load it in the country, and me puff it, I'ma love it, I'ma cough until me high, I am laugh until me cry. We slap the child a couple times, pass it to me partner, praise to the Father. So the jolly shout a prayer, and I a biggie harder. We only sacrament a herb, so we pop disaster. Disaster, who are we proud of? This a miracle, God.
I grew up from West, strictly indoor, come on office, smoke the best. Marijuana bring me joy and happiness. Good for me nerves and it take away my stress. That's why me Bun Di Ganja every night and day. That's why me Bun Di Ganja.
Kaylan Arnold is still with us here at Wha Gwaan Munchy. One thing that you strongly advocate for is self-love. You stress that a lot also during your live shows. Why is this topic so important to you?
I think if I could be completely transparent and vulnerable, just growing up in a Caribbean household, I love my parents to death. They did an excellent job. I'm very grateful for where I am today. But if we're just going to be honest, they're not the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Affectionate when it comes to emotions, or maybe just understanding that things can be deep as a kid or as an adolescent. So I think growing up and learning to advocate for myself, I realized that no one is going to believe me if I don't love myself. If I'm going around and I'm saying, when I say peace, you say love, if I don't love myself, then it's not believable. So I think leaning into that and having some struggles also with mental health, when I was younger, when I was finding my identity, kind of is the whole reason why I started making music, is because I needed some type of therapy. So now I like to write about things that are therapeutic to other people, stuff that I know. When I'm in the booth and I sing a certain line, I'm like, oh yeah, that's going to make somebody's mom cry. Just doing it intentionally, knowing that some people need to hear certain things in a certain way. And just advocating for the sensitive subjects of the world, because I'm definitely super sensitive. I would just say that in general. I think it's super important to love yourself. And just mental health in general in the Caribbean is kind of slept on. I feel like a lot of people, more than we probably know, are hurting themselves in ways that we're not really seeing as hurting ourselves, just overly drinking and the drugs and the misogynistic things and just like not really leaning into their faith as much. So the reason why I'm such a huge advocate for it is because I think everyone needs to find their faith, figure out what it is, and just lean into that. And that's the only way to like keep it pushing, you know?
Is music a crucial part also for yourself still? Because you mentioned words like therapy. Also for you to just keep mentally healthy and, you know?
Absolutely. I think sometimes I just go and play guitar. Whenever I have a rough day, just play some chords. Or sometimes it's not even about the writing. I feel like energetically, our energy can speak for itself in a room. And so just God being able to create those gifts for people, I think is super important. So I definitely take advantage of them whenever I have the time to touch back on what made me start in the first place.
Kaylan, those are some super important messages. I'm very happy and grateful that you shared them with us today and that you're sharing your music with us throughout the time being. So would you like to use the opportunity and address one more special message for the fans at Wha Gwaan Munchy?
Absolutely. I think it's very important to shake the room when you walk in the room. I think in general, just believing in yourself is the most important part through everything. Because just like I said, no one will love me if I don't love myself. No one will believe in me if I don't believe in myself. So believing in yourself for sure, 100%.
Thank you so much for these inspirational words for the music, and we're looking forward to hearing Miscommunication. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, and thanks for the interview, Kaylan. All the very best.
Thank you. Yes, sir. This is your girl, Kaylan Arnold, and we are locked into Wha Gwaan Munchy. Keep it locked.
Wha Gwaan Munchy?